Hello YouTube and welcome to this Eve tutorial. Now today we're going to be talking around the kind of basic concepts of staying alive in nullsec. So this video is not going to be about getting epic kills and filling up your kill board and ganking and titans and stuff, but more how to avoid ending up on someone else's kill board. So let's get started. Now the first thing you're going to want to look at is your screen layout. Now you may have noticed in other people's videos that they tend to have the screen set up in a particular way. Now this isn't by chance, what they're trying to do is ensure that they're always aware of their surroundings. Now the first tool to do this is the local channel chat. This lets you know who's in the system with you, regardless of where they're hiding. So this does include if people are in stations or just hiding anywhere in space. To get the best out of this information, you're going to want to drag your local channel into a separate window, make it tall and thin, and then click on the settings icon and choose Show Text Only. Finally, you're going to want to click on the members icon and select Show Compact Member List. Now you should have something which looks a bit like this, and the reason you want to do this is so that you can see the most number of people in local space at once, and this is especially useful for busy systems and big fleet battles. Next you're going to want to tune your overview tabs to show only the most important items. Now Eve has a ton of items which you can see in the overview, but when you're trying to escape a gank or approach a gate, scrolling through a massive list is just going to get you killed. It's generally best to keep this list to unfriendly ships, e.g. those not in your fleet or corporation, as well as deployables such as warp disruptors and other celestial objects such as suns, gates and stations. It's worth noting that a lot of PvP courts will provide you with an overview pack to use, so it's best to ask before spending ages creating your own. If in doubt, there's also one on Eve University which you can download, and there's a full guide on there on how to use it. The last thing you're going to want to do is to make sure that when you open your directional scanner, or DScan for short, that is in a convenient place. We'll be coming back to this panel later. So that's the boring stuff out of the way. Now let's get to the how not to die bits. So the first things we're going to talk about are safes, pings and insta-warpouts. So safes are essentially a bookmark in space, which is nowhere near any charted entity, so this could be a sun, a planet or a station. They're essential for surviving in a system where everyone is trying to kill you, and they're useful for if you're mining, exploring, ratting or just passing through. So having a couple of saves in each system will keep you alive, and they are really easy to create. To create a very basic safe, you're going to simply want to walk between two known points, so this can be two gates, and about halfway between them press Ctrl B and give the bookmark a sensible name, e.g. mid-safe 1. So this is called a mid-save point, and it's essentially the most basic type of safe, and although it might get you out of a jam, it's pretty easy for somebody to scan you down using the D-scanner or just watch you warp off. You can create a much better safe called an unaligned safe by creating a second midpoint safe and then creating a bookmark between the two. Now in theory this safe should be out of D-scan range of any charted entity, which you can check by performing a scan on your D-scanner. The last thing to know about safes is that if you're ever at a cosmic signature, you should drop down a new safe bookmark, as these are typically in the middle of nowhere. Next let's talk about pings. Now these are much simpler to set up and allow you to check out a gate or station before committing to docking. Now the basic principle is to burn away from the objects you're pinging using your micro-warp drive or afterburner and create a bookmark at least 200 kilometers away. When creating the bookmark, give it a sensible name such as the gate name at 200 kilometers, and this will mean that when you're travelling through the system, which has another player in it, you can just jump to your ping above the gate and check if there are no bubbles or fleets waiting before you go through. These pings are also vital for scouts in fleets, and you'll be often asked to create one when going through as a scout. The last type of point is an insta-warpout point, and this should be created around stations that you use regularly. Simply undock and burn at least 200 kilometers away and create a bookmark without changing direction. Should the station you're in be under siege, you can just undock and quickly warp away to this point without having to align, saving you precious seconds. In general, I try to create at least one ping on each gate and an unaligned safe in every system I use or travel through. It might seem like a pain, but it will really keep you alive in nullsec. There are additional other types of bookmarks and points that you can create to keep yourself safe. I've just covered the most basics here. Should you be interested and want to read up more, I'm going to put a link to the Eve University description on creating bookmarks, which you'll get a whole bunch of more information about. Next let's talk about the Directional Scanner, or DScan for short. Now this is an extremely powerful searching tool and is especially suited for PvP situations. Now it's got a range of 14 AU and you can change the angle to suit whatever your need is. Now in terms of staying alive, you're going to want to have this open whenever you're in a system with pilots that you don't know, and essentially use it to check for ships on stations or gates, and to also check and see if people are using probes to scan you down. To use the D-scanner, simply set the angle and hit scan. Now typically I leave this at 360 degrees and will hit every couple of seconds when I'm being chased or approaching a gate, just so I know what I'm up against. Now this tool does have some limitations. For example, the range, which we've already spoken about, is only 14 AU, so you're not going to see someone across the other side of the system. Also, it's useless against anyone who is cloaked, either from a gate cloak or from a combat cloak, and it's useless against combat recons. Apart from that, it's a great tool which can be used in all sorts of situations. Now I will leave a link in the description to the EVE University again, just for more information if you're interested. Kind of related to the Directional Scanner, and a mistake that I see all the time, is people buying nice shiny ships and not renaming them. So you might think that having Jareth Imicus is fine, but when people are scanning you down and they're looking at the people in local against who they can see as friendly and who they can see as enemy, you're just making it far too easy for them to link you to a ship on their scanners. Knowing that I'm in neutral space and that I'm within a couple of light years of a gate is just not going to end well for me. So simply change your name in the hangar or right click on your capacitor and set the name. The more bizarre the better. So the last point I have for you, and probably the most important thing to know about being in nullsec, is only fly what you can afford to lose, because I can guarantee one day you will lose it. So every time you undock, you should have a quick check of what ship you're flying and also what's in the cargo hold, because you may have picked up all sorts of things, moving things around, and accidentally take your ship out into an area and get blown up and just appear as a massive number on someone's kill board, and of course lose all your stuff. So that's it from me. Hope you've learned something useful from this tutorial. Please leave any other tips and tricks that you may have from experience in the comments below, and other people watching this video, please read the comments for other people's advice. I hope this has been useful, and thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.